Hey folks, Nas here. Another episode of Medieval Dynasty in the Oxbow. Alrighty, so last night I did go through, and we're just going to hop the fence right here. I did go through and I picked the cabbage, I picked the onions and the carrots because they were all ready. I still have the flax I've got to gather. But of course, we still have beetroots that we're waiting, probably next season, I believe it is, for them to be ready. But what I was doing is I was looking at the meals once again. I know we've kind of been discussing meals, over several episodes. So making the meals and selling them is not going to be as profitable as making the bags and selling them. So if you see on the floor here, I've got 634 carrots. I've got 630 onions. I ended up picking the cabbage. Now, instead of putting the cabbage on the floor of the barn for it to turn to fertilizer, I'm going to see how much fertilizer we get out of manure just from the pigs, because we've got 4 pigs now. And I can, as they start making more babies, I can start moving the babies into another pigsty. I can build another pigsty. Then I can bring in another farmer to man that pigsty as well to produce more pigs. And then once we have a bunch of pigs built up, I don't have to have, I can have farmers in there tending to the pigs, and we can just sell the pigs off whenever we get them. Now, granted, it's not going to be profitable to do the pigs because they only sell for like 225 coins when they're full grown. However, I got 1,000 cabbage out of those 2 plots, and I can I can plant cabbage twice a year, just like I can do the carrot. I can plant the carrot twice a year, but I'm getting 400 more cabbage than carrot per harvest, something like that. Now, granted, I have 2 plots of cabbage and 1 plot of carrot, so I guess technically I'm getting more carrot than cabbage out of my crops. However, what I was really looking at, don't necessarily need the torch out because since it's daylight, but I was looking at the meals. Now, I wasn't really looking at them over here. I believe I was looking at them in the kitchen. So we've made stew once. We've made meat and gravy. The meat and gravy is kind of my go-to. It's always been my go-to. It's probably, I want to say, the most economical to make. So the way I look at the food right now, the hardest thing for me to get is meat, because I have to go out and I have to hunt the meat while I'm also doing the farming. But the farming only has to be done, like one time during the season. Hunting usually has to be done several times because you have to go out and find the right animals that you're wanting to kill and everything. And those don't spawn daily. You can only, hunt that one location one time, and then you got to find another location, and then it respawns. It's a season change. So there's a lot of movement as to where I do the farming here in my town. But the way I look at the food is how much meat is required for the food value. So as you can see on the meat and gravy, the roasted meat, it takes 1 meat to make 1 roasted meat. It doesn't take hardly any time to make any roasted meat, and I've got fast crafting on. If you have a villager that's doing the cooking, okay, they have to make the roasted meat. It's an extra process. I don't think it's a big deal. The 3 onion, in my mind, that's irrelevant. I just, if I need more onion, I make the crop bigger. That's just the thing. But I'm right now I'm getting enough onion, and I for my crops, and I'm fine with that. But it takes 1 roasted meat and you get 40 food. So in my mind, that's 40 food for 1 roasted meat. Now, if we decided to do here, we were looking at the soup because we planted the beetroot. Now the beetroot, that's 4 meat for 60 food. Now it's the same amount of beetroot it is for onion. 3 onion, 3 beetroot. So that's kind of a wash in my mind. It's just one crop for the other. But it takes 4 meat to get 60 food. So now we're looking at 15 food per meat. That's not efficient in my mind as far as the food value. It's still better to utilize that meat and make 3 times as many meals. So let's say that took 4 meat. 4 meat for meat and gravy that's 160 food for 1 meat. Now, granted, obviously, you have to have the onions to make that. So I'm still leaning towards making the meat and gravy for my villagers. However, if we have an abundance of meat and gravy, they don't sell for a whole lot. It's 17 coins. But if we go over here and look at the pottage, however you want to pronounce it, it's not super efficient as far as food value. But it takes 3 meat for 60 food as opposed to 4 meat for 60 food for the soup. So it's 1 less meat for the soup. So now we're getting 20 food per meat. Now that is half as much as the meat and gravy for 3 meat, but it's 2 cabbage. Again, we can plant the cabbage twice a year. It's easy. The cabbage is easy. It's the meat that would be our bottleneck for meals. Now, I am leaning towards beginning to make pottage. Now, yes, it is less efficient as far as food if we look at it that way. However, in order to level your skill in hunting, you have to hunt. You have to skin the animals. That's the only way to level your hunting skill. So you get the skill points. Well, I'm wanting to level my skill points in hunting. Now I'm currently at 3. Well, my farming's at 7. I'm almost capped out on that. I can start bringing villagers in for that. My excavation is at 6. Now, granted, I've been doing all of the excavation as well. Most of it. But I've also started transitioning. I have villagers doing some of my log gathering. Now, granted, I'm going in my cave and doing all of my excavation in my cave. Let's see. My survival is at a 6. My production is capped. I'm at 10. I can't get any more points. Now, granted, my diplomacy, we've just started selling stuff, and that's the biggest way and easiest way to make your diplomacy skill points. It is at a 3. But this is going to start skyrocketing the more we sell each season. As to where hunting, we're not doing a whole lot of hunting. Now, granted, I get my wisent, I get my bear. We went and hunted the deer in last episode, and I got some wolf. We have to do a lot more hunting for me to get that skill level even going up faster. So we are going to be coming into a lot of meat because I've got to start hunting a lot more. That is where technology, we're going to go here, we're going to go to the kitchen. That is why I think I'm going to start doing pottage, because pottage is going to force me to go hunting more, because I haven't done a whole lot of hunting in 10 episodes or more. I've done a little bit. I've done the wisent and the bear each season. That's gotten us by just fine with some extra stuff. But if I'm making pottage, it's going to force me to go and do more hunting, which then in turn is going to allow me more leather to make the bags that we've talked about selling. So that way I'm overcompensating for our bottleneck, which would be meat and leather at this point. And then I can remove my carrot, my onion, and my beetroot crops and replace them with flax. So we have an abundance of thread coming in. And I think that is going to keep us fairly stabilized on food and items to process and craft to sell. Then if we have an abundance of food, we can sell it, because go back into here again. Sorry. Go back into here, go back into there, go to the kitchen. The potage, you can see here that its value is 40, so it'll sell for 20. As to where the meat and gravy is a 17 value, that's going to sell for what, 8.5? So if we have to sell food because we have an abundance of it, then potage is a better choice as well. Is it super profitable? No, but at least we are making something on selling, barely. But that's if we have to do it. Now, granted, I don't have to do that. I could just let the cabbage, the excess cabbage, rot and cook the meat or whatever, and then I can turn the cabbage into fertilizer and probably sell the fertilizer to make more money. But the fertilizer's heavy. That's the only thing, is carrying fertilizer into town that's kind of heavy. I don't want to carry heavy stuff into town. But I think that's what I might do. Is do that. I think tonight I will go through, I will make enough potage to last us a year. Because your food degrades 12.5% per season. So I think that'll be good. So I'll go through, I'll figure up what our food demand is. I'll make enough of the potage meals to last us a year. I will then sell any of the excess meals that we have, because they'll just sit there and rot. Because the potage, I believe, on the priority list is higher than the meat and gravy. So they're going to, once I put potage in there, they're going to eat it unless I turn it off. But there's no sense. I'll just sell the meat and gravy. But I think that's what I'm going to do. That way, what I'm trying to do is make things more efficient. So we're not doing a ton of stuff. We have decent meals that's going to give them decent food, decent water, and then we're not harvesting a bunch of stuff. We're harvesting what we need. Now, granted, we're going to keep the, oat and rye for the animal feed, which I am making an abundance of that. But if we're going to start adding more pigs, then they're going to start eating more feed. So, but I think these two crops here will do us just fine for quite some time. The cabbage, I think, is probably going to be okay the way it is. And then we can remove these three crops once the beetroot, I was trying to think of what that was called. Once the beetroot's done, then next spring we can plant flax here. I think that's what I'm going to do. Potage for the meals. Get rid of the other vegetable crops except cabbage. And then we'll do cabbage and flax. We can make potage for the meals. Sell the excess meals if we need to. Make bags. We need the leather and the meat. Making the potage is going to force us to go hunting more so we can have more meat. That way I don't have to have my hunters go gathering meat. I can have them focusing on leather to bring in more leather, because it takes 2 leather and 1 thread to make a bag. And then we can sell those bags at 160 coins a piece, because I've got my barter skill maxed out. I think that's good. I think we're going for a good plan. And I'm going to continue doing my own cave mining right now. Obviously, I can't have a villager do my cave mining because I don't have the mine building. Once I get the mine building, then I can put a villager in there. But I believe what we need to do is bring a new villager in for the hunting lodge. I'm considering bringing a villager in for the kitchen. I was thinking of one other. Oh, the workshop. I was thinking about bringing a villager in for the workshop so they could make bowls and stuff. So then maybe I can start transitioning. Instead of me making all of the meals, we transition to where they're making the bowls and they're cooking the meat and making the meals, you know, on kind of a steadier pace. And then I can pick up the slack if need be, until we can get enough villagers doing that. I think that's what I'm going to do. So we need 3 villagers, right? Yes. We need a hunter, kitchen. How many people can be in the kitchen? Is it 1 or 2? I think it's only 1 right now. Yeah, it's only 1 right now. How soon before we get kitchen 2? Kitchen 2 is our next thing, but we're about 500 production points away from the kitchen. And we are, what, 1,500 points away from the market stall. Man, I kind of wish we'd get to the market stall, and then we can actually, you know, start concentrating on producing more stuff to sell. That'll be good. Well, there we go. I think that's going to be the plan. Now, we have the Oath Keeper. You can see it up in the top right corner of the screen. We're going to head back into Pistovia. I did clean out the resource storage and things. I put some stuff in Miss Donkey to sell. Now, granted, we've already emptied all of the villagers, or all of the vendors of their coin in Pistovia. So we will have to visit a different village in order to sell some more stuff. So let me head to Pistovia so we can do this Oath Keeper quest, and I'll see you when we get there. Alright, we are in Pistovia. Where do we have to go? 60 something meters? Oh, I think that's going to be outside the village. I think I ran too far into town here.
Onward!
Onward, Miss Donkey. Is it outside? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's outside the gate. Let's look real quick. Yeah, right outside the gate. Let's go down the ramp, around the corner. Try not to run into anything. And it should be like right, yeah, in this little building right here. Now, if you remember, what's his name? Lubos? This little prick right here? Yes, you. Why don't punch you in the head? Smart ass. He was tasked with another quest from Derwin, which Derwin asked us to check up on him. Now, granted, he claims that it's all fixed and he doesn't have to do anything else, but he also didn't report to Derwin. So we're checking up on his, what is probably going to be another fix-it quest. Let's see, check the house. Oh, that's it? That's all we had to do was show up here?
My grandpa used to say, when
talk to Boguslawa. Oh, she's over here. She's got her hands crossed. She does not look happy. Miss Boguslaw, let's see. My cows feel a lot... Let's see. I'm looking for Oxbow. Is he well? My cows feel a lot better without the shady onions. What do you need? Oh, this was the lady that he gave... that Lubos gave the crappy onions to that time. That's what it is. Okay, my cows feel a lot better without the shady onions. What do you need? I'm looking for Oxbow. Is he well? I haven't seen him for a while. It's unusual for him to be late from work. I hope he's not in trouble. Is that why you're asking? There's no need to worry. I asked out of curiosity. I just wish to speak with the man. I believe he was hurt in a quarrel with Markuslaw. I'm looking for him to see if he's all right. I'm going to choose number 2, by the way. Those two men, they came for him in the morning. What did they do to him? 2 men. I thought it was only 1. I thought they were going to talk about some seedlings. What's going on here? Please calm down. I heard that he ran away from the 2 you mentioned, but may still require some help. He may be bleeding to death right now. No, we're not going to tell her that. Please calm down. I've heard that he ran away from the 2 you mentioned, but may still require some help. We're going to go with number 1. I do wish that when you're in the dialogue, I wish they would lower the volume of the surrounding noises just a little bit, because the whole talking and stuff in my ear is a little annoying when you're trying to read. It's like trying to read a book and somebody comes up and keeps trying to talk to you. It's like you can't concentrate on what you're reading when somebody's trying to talk to you. Anyway, that's my own gripe. Let's see. He must be hiding somewhere because he was afraid they'd come to our house. My brave Oxbow. He never goes far from the town or his field. They shouldn't bother you. The quarrel was between them only. I'll look around for him. There we go. Okay, so check the field. Check in the sick house. I think it's interesting they keep calling it the sick house. Now, the sick house is the house that we originally spawned in when we started the game. Sorry, I had to take a drink. My throat was getting really dry. And then we got to check the tavern. Yeah, that's where I would go, is the tavern. Where is... We got one that way, one that way. Let's check the field. I think this is the field we're supposed to be checking. So let's go up here and see if we see anything. We checked the field. I like the little stairway going up here. That's kind of nice. It's too bad you can't... They don't have that option to make this path. Now, granted, you can drop logs or planks or whatever and simulate this look, but we don't have the option in the game to actually build a path that has logs on it like this, like a log path. But I do like the way this looks. We also don't have, as far as I know, you don't have the option to lay the log fence down like that either. And I wish we had options like that, to where you could rotate the fence and lay it over at a 30-degree angle or something like that. Because I like this. I like this raised crop. I like that because they've leveled this off by doing so. Man, I wish we had those abilities. Pick a spot, level the ground, build you a little support structure around it like this. I like that look. But we can't make it look like that. We can't make our village look like that. Okay, now, where do we got to go? We got to go back into town, or back into Postovia. We got to check the sick house and the tavern. Let's hop on Miss Donkey, and we'll take her with us into town. We'll check the sick house first, and then the tavern. Let's go up here. Giddy up. Try not to get stuck on the little bridge. There it is. And let's hop off Miss Donkey. Let's go check the sick house. Like you could maybe call it the infirmary or something. Okay, we've checked here. There's nobody here except for Mr. Dr. Dude. I can't remember his name. And we're... Wait. Oh, was he in there? He must have been. Oh, he was off in... Oh, there he was, right behind the door. Sorry, dude. I've literally hit you with the door twice. Maybe you should wear some brighter colors. Oxbow. Let's see. Oxbow, I heard you were wounded. How are you holding up? Who are you? I don't want any visitors. I need to rest. Let's see. I've heard about your quarrel with Marcoslaw. Derwin would like to know what happened between you. Your wife is getting worried about you. She doesn't know where you've gone. Everyone was talking about you running around covered in blood. Do you need any help? Well, I've only talked to one other person and nobody mentioned him covered in blood. Let's talk about this, because we did talk to the wife. She was worried about where he went. So let's do that. I know she didn't witness the madness. Someone has to inform her that I'm alive. Did they harass her too? It's hard to believe. I called one of them a friend not long ago. Oh, interesting. Don't push yourself. I can see you're still suffering. Forgive me. I'm still in a lot of pain. You see, I was sewn up by the barber surgeon. He told me I might live to be older. I might live to be old after all if I stay out of trouble. That might be the key. What led you to end up like this? Just before I went to the fields, I was visited by the lad, Lubos, and my friend, Markuslaw. Now, I believe Markuslaw is the gentleman vendor in the red that sells the seeds. I believe that's who this is. They told me it was about some rotten seedlings, and they asked me to come along. I'm listening. The young apprentice took us to a secluded place on the outskirts of town and suddenly stopped. The lad threw 2 axes under our feet and screamed, "Settle this like real men, here and now." Oh my God, this kid. Holy shit. Oh. That's barbaric. He forced you to turn against a friend. Huh. It must be common where he comes from. A trial by combat of some sort. It wouldn't surprise me if it was the way he used to get out of problems on his own in the past. I kind of have to go with number 1 because, yeah, that's kind of barbaric. That seems a little stupid, but I don't know. Let's go with number 2. It must be common where he comes from. A trial by combat of some sort. I was stunned, didn't know what to do. My unexpected opponent picked up his axe immediately. I only heard him scream, "I trusted you," while the weapon had already sunk into my chest. Oh, wow. You were lucky to be alive. That wound could knock down an enraged bull. I'm impressed with your endurance. Anyone else would bleed to death running that distance. You were in good hands now. Do not think about the incident anymore. I'm going to go with number 3. You're in good hands now. Do not think about the incident anymore. I'm going to go with that one because I feel like we're fixing to take care of things. Let's see. I've got no quarrel with Marcus Law. Tell him, if you see him, I just wish to have peace again and go home. Get some rest. You're in good hands. I'll pay Marcus Law a visit. Wow. That's freaking crazy that a friend would intentionally. Okay. They were both taken out by the kid, Lubos, each given an axe that they had to pick up. It wasn't that they had it on them, that they had to pick up. But this Marcus Law, instead of telling Lubos that he's a freaking dumbass and he wasn't going to put an axe in his friend, he picked the axe up and hit his friend with it. Like what kind of quarrel is really going on here for someone that you considered a friend to do that? That's crazy. Not to mention that Lubos is definitely needing his ass kicked. Let's go see Marcus Law. Yeah, I thought that's who that was. Let's see. I just visited Oxbow in the sick house. He survived your duel and is going to make it out. Oh, now what? Can my family finally have some peace? I think I read that backwards. Again, I've done that more than once. Now what? Can my family finally have some peace? I visited Oxbow in the sick house. He survived your duel and is going to make it out. Pshaw. That's disappointing. Holy shit, dude. It seems I didn't try hard enough. I'll break him again if I have to, but this time for good. That's a bold statement. What makes you think he deserves that? I heard you're the new justice warrior here. What are Ozabor's crimes? Did he sell you rotten onions? I'd be pissed off too. I totally feel you. I'm going to go with number 1. That's a bold statement. What makes you think he deserves that?
What you find? Well,
This traitor took advantage of my lack of vigilance. I was robbed and my family was hurt by this crook. He even got to my little girl. What? There's a little girl involved now? Hang on. Ozabor was one of my suppliers. He only knew where I stored my stock and my precious wine. Huh? Oh, the wine. Lubos. Oh my God, Lubos. This is a continuation of the last thing that he screwed up. Because he talked about stealing somebody's wine or some crap. And now, almost all of it is gone. Let's see. You both could always talk first and find a solution. It's just a drink made from some fruits, right? I can imagine your grief. It's hard these days to get your hands on the proper wine with a rich fruit bouquet. I'm going with number 1. You guys could have just frickin' talked it out. Holy shit. Put an axe in your friend's chest. Let's see. That's not the only fruit he decided to take for himself. He seduced my daughter, my sweet apple. She started sneaking out at night. Oh, dear. When I caught them, her clothes were all covered in red stains. That must have been my wine. He used it to lure her. Yeah, he's mad. Okay. Almost caught him then. But he ran to the northern gate. Okay, so wait a minute. So Ozabor seduced his daughter? How old is his daughter? Says he's 46, so his daughter could be of age. Let's see. It doesn't sound like she's doing anything against her will. Your daughter's almost an adult. This doesn't hold together. So this, by your reasoning, adds up to quiet Farmer Ozabor making night excursions with your daughter. You might be right. It adds up quite well. I didn't realize Ozabor was such a piece of work. I still don't know. Somehow this is going to tie back to Lubos. I just see it already. I mean, it already does. It doesn't sound like she's doing anything against her will. Your daughter's almost an adult. Doesn't hold together. I'm going with number 1. Doesn't hold together. If he were innocent, he would not run away. There's no doubt he's responsible. You shouldn't take revenge into your own hands before getting sure of his guilt. Probably before being sure of his guilt. You did the right thing to pursue Ozabor, but you could have chosen a more civilized way to do that. Again, being the third party, I'm going to go with you shouldn't take revenge into your own hands. Although, under what he's telling me, I probably would have done the same thing if it were true. But there's clearly more to this. But I'm going to go with number 1. I don't regret a thing. The only thing I feel sorry for is Ozabor's wife. She was also betrayed. She's waiting for any news about her husband. I've learned enough. Now we got to go back and talk to the wife. Okay. So, why are we going back and talking to the wife without confirming anything with Ozabor? That's... Hang on. Where's Miss Donkey? Take Miss Donkey out there. Because we got to go outside the gates again. Seems like we would go and talk with Ozabor to confirm what Marcus Law just told us. See, that's... Okay. Maybe after we talk with the wife? we're going to go back and talk with him? I don't know. Let's see. Where's Miss Wifey? She's going to be right up here again. Stay here, Miss Donkey. Alrighty, let's talk with Miss Boguslaw. Excuse me. I was trembling from fear. Did you learn anything? I bring news about Osborne. He's recovering under the care of the barber surgeon. I love that they call it the barber surgeon. Even, yeah, I know that's, yeah, the barber was the surgeon. I get it. It's interesting that they call him that. Let's see. Oh, thank you. How bad is he? He's been sewn up and needs to rest. It's going to be fine. Don't worry about him. He'll live. I can't really tell you what the side effects are going to be. You'll have to wait and see. I'm gonna go number 1. He's been sewn up, needs to rest. It's going to be fine. Don't worry about him. Why would anyone hurt him so badly? It's unbearable to me. Will we live in fear for the rest of our lives? Number 1, I don't believe Osborne is guilty of anything. The case is a misunderstanding, and your husband will do anything to end it peacefully. I agree with this to some extent. He's accused of stealing wine and seducing Marcus Law's daughter. Many pieces of evidence suggest that. I'm going to go with number 1 because we haven't confirmed anything truly with Osborne. So I don't think it's our position to tell her all of the details right now and risk their relationship. Because if Osborne truly wasn't seducing Marcus Law's daughter, then we could damage their relationship or his relationship with his wife. So I'm going to go with number 1. I don't believe Osborne is guilty of anything. The case is a misunderstanding, and your husband will do anything to end it peacefully. I'm going to go with number 1 for right now. He told you that? Oh, that's my hubby. I'll have to visit the sick house. He needs fresh clothes and some food. Thank you for calming my nerves. Be well. Take care, you both. Now I got to go back and talk to Lubos. Oh, how come? Hang on. Okay, so we talked to Oswald. Then we went and talked to Marcus Law, who told us that Osborne was seducing his wife, or his daughter, not his wife, his daughter. Stole his wine. But why didn't we go back and talk to Osborne one more time before coming to his wife, to confirm what Marcus Law said or to disprove it? I feel like there's a step missing here to actually know all the details, or to determine if one of the people are lying. However, we got to go back and talk to Lubos, which, granted, that might reveal more to this story, which I am still like, holy cow. So if Marcus Law and Osborne were friends, you put an axe in the chest of your friend, that's your first choice. Even if he was seducing your almost adult daughter, would there not be something in you to want to find out why? Or is it just that you're going to rage right off the bat and put an axe in the chest of your friend? Now, Marcus Law called Osborne a supplier, but this was after the fact. We don't know what Marcus Law would have said about Oxbow before this incident. It's an interesting quest. Now, granted, obviously, I am probably thinking about it too deeply. But it poses questions. I mean, you could see something like this happening, and I'm sure it has happened in real life to somebody, which is just insane to me. But we'll know more, I guess, in the next episode, because it's getting dark. It's hard to see. But we're going to talk to Lubos in the next episode. If you folks are liking these, definitely hit that like button. Helps the channel out a ton. Helps put this video out in front of other people. If you are not subscribed, I'd greatly appreciate it if you consider doing so. And thank you to my members. You should be able to see them on the screen now. You guys are awesome. And we will see you folks in the next one. You take care and happy hunting.